All right, we're officially starting to lay out the foundation for this tiny home. It's just stringline and rebar today, but it's our first real step toward getting this build off the ground. The shed's not coming. We're building this thing from scratch, 16 by 32. And while we're still waiting on the new dirt work guy to come, give us a proper quote, I figured why not get a head start laying out the property so we can see how it's going to fit on the land. I'm Kevin, and this is Ask Pawpaw, where we build real life, one project, one paycheck at a time. We talk tiny homes, self-reliance, and building a life that fits, not one that breaks the bank. Now this weekend's a little different. Our grandson Carter, say hi Carter. Hi. Spent the night. So me and my wife are taking him out for a little breakfast this morning, and since it's the 4th of July, we got the whole family coming over later for hot dogs and fireworks. But before the grill gets fired up, we're heading to Lowe's. We're gonna get some rebar stakes, some string line, and some marking paint. And hopefully we'll be able to recruit a few hands when the rest of the family shows up, and we can get this string line stretched before the fireworks start. You ready, Carter? Mm-hmm. Say hi. Hi. You ready to go? Mm-hmm. Let's get started. There, we'll get buckled up, okay? Okay. You ready to go get some breakfast? Mm-hmm. All right. All right, well, we're a little late for breakfast, so I guess we'll have a little lunch. And I'm thinking a little Chinese buffet.
Hey, Coke. Sprite water.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Papa.
You're welcome. Be careful, it's full.
Yes.
Do you see the fish?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? All right. Here we are, my home away from home. One of my favorite places. Oh yeah? At Halloween they have monsters in here, don't they? Mm-hmm. The Halloween decorations, some of them look like monsters. You don't know. Here. All right. I need a buggy.
They don't have much shoes.
Ooh, pencils.
No, not this one.
25 cents. Oh, Mama's been wanting her a sander.
Yeah.
Do what?
There's no toys.
Maybe.
Wherever we go next time.
There might be some toys.
Maybe we'll have toys.
We'll see.
What's that, Mama?
All right, let's see. All right. And we'll get us some steaks here. $12.98 for 2, 3, 4 for 12 of them. So about $1 a piece, a little over $1 a piece. That's for our batter boards. Can you hold those for Papa? Okay. Watch
There
your
we go.
feet. Here we go.
Where you foot?
We're coming
You
back
set it there.
around. Now let's find us some rebar. We need. Do they have any 3 foot? Whatever the cheapest, but 3 foot. 18 inch. 2 foot.
That's 4 foot.
All right. Let's get 8 of these 2 foot rebar.
Eight.
8 of the 2 foot rebar at $3.98 each. And then there's some string down here we're gonna look at. Oh, it's dirty. Pick your feet up, buddy. Here we go. And then get a roll of this good heavy string. What do you think? Green or orange?
Green. The orange is $7.97.
Or I said it's yellow, yellow orange.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is $7.97 too.
$7.97.
Which one? Orange?
I don't care.
Okay, we're gonna get orange.
They got me in the wrong spot.
Okay, well you organize that for me. And then we need some marking. Inverted marking paint. Ooh. Mega size.
You don't need to make a size.
Well, I was gonna get 2 of those, but I could just get 1 of these.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Whoa. All right, inverted marking paint. We'll get the orange, or should I get white? I think I'll get orange. All right, we're ready to go. Hi. You see it now?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about what we're doing. This home is going to be 16 foot wide by 32 foot long. Pretty standard for a small shed or tiny house. The first thing I'm going to do is set up 2 parallel string lines for the long side, 32 feet. I'll drive in a few rebar stakes and stretch that line nice and tight. Then I'll measure across 16 feet and do the same thing on the other side. But here's where it gets important. I've got to make sure these lines are square. If this foundation's off, everything else will be a nightmare. I learned a method from Essential Craftsman. He's another YouTuber that's so simple, I wish I'd known it years ago. Instead of fiddling with diagonals and going back and two and trying to eyeball square, here's what we do. We're going to pick your starting corner, measure out the length of the long side. For us, that's 32 feet. Then measure across the short side, 16 feet. Now take those numbers, square them, add them, and take the square root. That gives us that diagonal distance we should have between those 2 stakes. Right at 35 feet, 9.5 inches, somewhere in there, right in there. Once that diagonal measures out perfect, boom, you're square. We're going to stretch that long side first, mark our corner, and then check square across that diagonal. We'll walk it through together. It's simple once you see it done. Got some orange. Got some nice orange string and got a nice can of Rust-Oleum inverted marking paint. The orange, got it orange as well. Should be able to see in my cup of coffee. Let's find us a corner and start some marking. I'm gonna walk out here and get an idea of where I might want the corner of my building to be. We're thinking it's gonna be 32. Some things I have to keep in mind is we have to be 15 foot from the nearest power line over there, and I don't want to be under this power line that runs to my house. So let's first of all, let's see what 32 feet gets us. And right there's 32. So I'm thinking that we're gonna do something along the lines of this. Oh. Let's throw one in the ground. Let's see. Alright. Got a rebar in there. I'm going to hook on our rebar and pull 32 foot. Let's see where we end up at. This is 32. Grab another piece of rebar. We're going to drive a little long so I can overshoot here. Then we're going to run us a string line. Here's a little trick. See it? Just come in, grab. And I want it to come to the inside because I'm going to flip around. It's going to bind on itself. And that's where I want my string to be, on this outside. We're going to call the outside edge the mark. Then we're going to run down. And for this, here's a good little trick. Get you pretty close tight. You want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wraps. Put it around there. Pull your tension out as such and pull it back around. And that should cinch up and hold you pretty well. Now we got our first long line down. Now we just need to mark 32 foot. So we're just gonna mark 32 foot on this line. I pulled it a little extra long on purpose to give myself a little room. So I'm marking 32 foot. With my pencil here, which you can see, but to find it even easier, I'll make a mark in the grass here so I'll know where to look real quick. All right. I'm gonna take measure and I'll come back that way. Now we need to mark our other long line. So I'm gonna hook on this and come over 16 feet. Sink my rebar in here. Now I can put my string across here. I'm gonna leave myself a tail on that other piece. Once again, all right, bind it around. Get it about where I want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull and tighten. Take as much slack as I can. Cinch it down. Of course, this is new string, so hopefully it binds. Binds better the older it gets. Now we can run down to the other end. All right, so now we're gonna come down 32 feet again. That's just temporary. All right, so we got it. I got it squared out. 35, 9.5 from diagonal to diagonal. So it should be good and square. 16 by 32. I'm gonna take my marker and paint now and just mark along the line so we can kind of have an outline to visualize. We still got the dirt work coming in, so all that's gonna change and go away. They're gonna pile fill dirt on it and I'll have to do it over, but this was a learning experience for me. To be honest with you, it's probably the first time I've ever done it this way. Most things I build on the fly. So never build anything as important as a house from scratch, from the foundation up. So it's interesting. I'm sure with a lot of practice, you get really good at it. All right, here we go. How does this work? I think you remove that. Shake well. All right. Want to do it, babe? It's fun. Just go right along the line. Doing good, doing good. Get down lower. There you go. Good job. All right. There we are. That's what a 16 by 32 looks like before any of the work's done. So, Caitlin, you want to see what your house looks like? Watch out for the lines. Watch out for the lines. Step over them. Step over.
What's up with the double line?
It's just where I started. The inside one is the actual line. Yeah, good job. That's your...
On the way to the business one. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
2, 1.
Go. Careful. Yeah, good job. Be careful. Be careful. Woo, good job. Nice jump. Yay. All right, come show me where your bedroom's gonna be. Come here, baby. What's wrong? Come here. Come in. Come under. Come on. Okay, help Papa. Hold that and walk over there. Walk over there to the line. No, you gotta pull this with you. Hold it to the line. Hold it right to the line. See the line right there? Okay, that's good. Right there. Here, Brantley. You want to help? Okay, hold it. Hold it for Papa. Hold it. You're doing good. Yeah. Good job. Yep.
Hold it down here.
There you go.
Yeah, everybody hold it.
Okay, grab it, Paisley.
Hold it. Let's go that way. Got it.
Okay. You got it? All right. Here, baby. You can do it. Go to that end and stop right there.
You're not taking the plastic thing off? No?
Just light it.
I thought you were supposed to take the plastic thing off. All right, everybody back up.
Still. Back it up, Terry.
Back it up! Whoa! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Wow!
Oh, look at the stick. You see the stick?
No more sticks. Wow!
Oh, look at the stick. You see the stick?
That's dangerous. No more sticks.
But you need to make sure it aims.
It's aimed over there. Whoa. Those will be better at night. We can wait till night to do those.
Hi.
Hi, Papa.
Hi. Are you enjoying your roadside seats for the fireworks?
Yeah, it's hot out there.
Hi, Amy. Hi, Riley.
Take a picture on the fireworks.
Yeah.
No,
Say hi, Paisley.
the fireworks.
Yeah, I see the fireworks.
Fireworks.
Why don't these things come with,
Yeah.
Take a picture. Take a picture. No.
Take a picture of the fireworks.
Take a picture of the door.
Okay. All right, y'all. So I realized that in my footage earlier, I didn't really do a good job explaining. So let me walk y'all through what I did to get this foundation laid out and ready. It's 16 by 32, and I need to square it up. So I followed a method that I learned from Essential Craftsman. He's a YouTuber I really like, and it uses string, some basic geometry, and some good old rebar stakes. I'm going to walk it out for you and try to go back through it step by step so you understand what I'm doing. So first I picked a starting point, and I decided to find my corner here, and I wanted to make sure that I had a good spot for my first corner. I don't know if you can see that here. It's kind of in line with our privacy fence there. Plenty of ways away from our property line and plenty of ways away from the closest power line. So that's kind of why I decided to start here. So once I picked that starting point, I drove my first rebar stake, and I made sure that it was plumb straight up and down and that it was good and solid. Then I tied my string on. Then I run that line out beyond 32 foot. I went past it, and I drove another stake in the ground, and I tied my string down there. And that gave me my first long side, right? My first 32 foot long string line. And actually, like I said, I went further than 32 foot. Next, I had to establish my second long side, the other 32 foot long line, and I make sure it was exactly parallel to the first. To do that, I used a tape measure and went across at a few different points, checking the spacing. And I adjusted that second line until the distance between both lines was the same all the way down, 16 feet, give or take 1/8 of an inch maybe. And that's how I knew that they were parallel. Now that I had my two long lines, I picked one point to be my corner 0. That's my starting corner for everything. From that point, I measured 32 feet down the string, and the corner I started with was the one that I picked that was most important to me, and that was the one here by the end of the privacy fence that's near our property line. So I started that with that being my main corner, my starting corner. And what I did was I measured 32 foot down that line that I had created and marked it. Okay, then came the math. Using the Pythagorean theorem, I think that's how you say it, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I figured out what the diagonal should be. So A is 32 feet, B is 16 feet. Square those out. 32 times 32 is 1,024, and 16 times 16 is 256. You add them up and you get 1,280. Take the square root of that and you get 35.777, which comes out to about 35 feet, 9.5 inches. And that's the magic number. So that's what we need for our diagonals. I pulled that diagonal measurement from my starting corner over to the opposite string line and marked where it hit. That gave me my third corner. I did it again from the other side, and now we've got 3 perfectly square corners. The fourth one just falls into place from there. Once I had all my strings set and my corners confirmed, I grabbed my marking paint and I made marks on the ground underneath the line. That way, even if I pull the strings up for a bit or they get bumped, I can put them right back in place. And it also gave us a visual idea of what the building actually looks like, and my daughter could walk around inside it and kind of get a feel for how big it was going to be and where she'd want to lay stuff out. So that's how I squared up the layout for our 16 by 32 tiny home foundation. It took a little patience, but once you understand this method, it's not too bad and way better than just guessing or eyeballing it. Now we're ready to move forward with digging holes and setting our posts, and that's coming up next in episode 3, along with some dirt work and getting that culvert put in. The guy's supposed to come out in the morning to give us a quote. Hopefully he shows up unlike the last guy, and hopefully he can get it done really soon so we can move forward with finally putting this foundation in. First I'm going to take my starting corner here. Hook on my rebar and I'll show you. And I came past 32 and put my rebar in here, and that was my first parallel. So I came past 32 foot, put my second rebar in, and that was my first long side string completed. Then I went 16 foot over. Put my second one in. Then when I got my, after doing my figure and get my diagonal number, I can go from my starting corner and come over 35, 9.5, which is our diagonal. That's how I got my third corner. Sorry, that's how I got my second corner. Then lastly, did the same thing on the other long side. $35, 9.5, right there. You're pushing the string. $35, 9.5, right there is square. So that's how we got our square. Just that easy. You are? Okay. All right, so real quick, I'll show you the knots that I'm using. The first one, just when you're wanting to first throw your line on your rebar, if you'll take, are you close enough? Can you see? All right, so this is called a lark's head. Give yourself a little bit of what they call the bitter end here. So if you'll notice, I'm just going to take my fingers and go in and grab it, and there's your lark's head. Do that one more time for you. Just taking the end. I'm going to go in with my fingers and pull it out like so. One more time. Make a bend in it. Go in and pull it out. That's your lark's head. And if you'll notice how the knot comes around one side there or the other, I'm going to come down and put it on my rebar. I'm going to run this line over to the other rebar on the other side. and it's going to bind against this loop. So what I want to do is when I put my lark's head on, I want the loop to be on the opposite side because I want it to bind against itself. Can you see how it's doing that? When you put it on, you want to pull against the loop. And I want it to come to the outside like this because that's where my measuring is, on the outside of the rebar. I'll show you again one more time, and it just slips out. So if I make my lark's head and then I put it to the outside like this, and then try to pull my line to the outside, it can slip very easily. So that's the way I want to do it right there. So it's binding against the loop. If you do it the opposite way, and you put it with the loop on the side that you're going to pull your string, you see how it slips? It doesn't bind, it slips, it keeps slipping. So what you want to do, once again, through, grab, pull it through. Here's your lark's head. You want it binding on itself, so you want to pull with the loop like that. There we go. Now we'll run down to the other end, and I'll show you how I would tie this end off. When I get to the opposite end, real quick, I'm just going to pull it a little snug to about where I want it to be. I'm going to hold it, put my finger in here, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Run over that. And then with my hand, here's my bitter end. Here's the string. I'm going to pull and snug it. I'm pulling the slack out of the main line and then pulling to snug it. And then I just wrap it once and it's set. Then when I'm ready to release it, watching the line? When I'm ready to release it, I simply unwrap it and pull it out straight and it'll release. And there we go. So one more time. Bend it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put it over. Pull my slack out. Tighten it. Bind it around on the side that I'm going to measure. And there we go. I'm no expert. I just learned this stuff really. But seems to work pretty well. Go check out Essential Craftsman. He's got some really good stuff. See ya.